Small body plus nocturnal plus omnivorous. The asteroid killed the picky eaters. 66 million years ago, a 6-mile-wide asteroid hit the Yucatan and killed 3/4 of all species on Earth. Every non-bird dinosaur died. But our ancestors, tiny, shrew-sized mammals, walked out alive. The reason wasn't luck. It was 3 specific traits, and we can name them: small body, nocturnal lifestyle, and an omnivorous diet. The first trait that saved our ancestors was size. The largest mammals alive at the moment of impact were no bigger than a modern raccoon. Most were the size of a mouse or rat. That tiny body solved several problems at once. A small animal needs very little food per day, a few grams of insects, seeds, or roots, so it can survive in an ecosystem that has lost most of its plants. A small animal can shelter in a burrow, under a log, or inside a tree root, where the heat blast from the impact and the freezing temperatures of the impact winter that followed couldn't reach it. A small animal reproduces fast and reaches maturity in months, not decades, so populations recover quickly even after huge losses. Meanwhile, the dinosaurs, especially the big ones, needed enormous quantities of plant matter or prey to stay alive. When the food chain collapsed, the largest animals starved first. Body size is the single strongest predictor of who lived and who died at the KPG boundary. Above about 50 pounds, almost nothing survived. Below it, our line slipped through. The second trait was being active at night. For more than 100 million years, while dinosaurs ruled the daylight, mammals had been pushed into the dark. This is called the nocturnal bottleneck, and it shaped almost everything about us. Large eyes for low light, sensitive hearing, a strong sense of smell, and warm-blooded metabolism to stay active in cool night temperatures. When the asteroid hit, the surface of the Earth flashed to oven temperatures for hours, then plunged into a freezing dark winter that lasted years. Sunlight was blocked by soot and dust in the upper atmosphere. Plants that depended on photosynthesis died on a massive scale. Daytime animals had nowhere to hide and nothing familiar to eat. But our nocturnal ancestors were already adapted to darkness, already adapted to cold nights, already adapted to navigating by smell and hearing instead of sight. The impact winter wasn't a new world for them. It was Tuesday. Being warm-blooded in particular meant they could keep moving, keep hunting, and keep their body chemistry running even when the global temperature crashed. The third trait was diet flexibility. Mammals that survived the KPG event were almost all omnivores or scavengers, animals that could eat insects, seeds, fungi, dead bodies, decaying plant matter, anything organic. This matters because when sunlight collapsed, the entire green food chain collapsed with it. Plant eaters had nothing to eat. The animals that ate plant eaters had nothing to eat either. Specialized predators starved within months. But detritus, dead leaves, dead animals, fungi growing on rotting wood, kept producing food independent of sunlight for years. Anything that could eat detritus or eat the insects that ate detritus kept eating. Modern studies of KPG survivor mammals show their teeth are almost universally suited for crushing, grinding, and processing a wide range of foods, not the specialized blades or sieves you see in picky modern carnivores or herbivores. Fossil records from the boundary layer back this up. The mammals that survived had generalist teeth and generalist diets. Picky eaters, whether dinosaurs, large reptiles, or specialized marine predators, went extinct at staggering rates. Being a generalist isn't glamorous, but at the KPG boundary, it was the difference between life and a geological record. That's how mammals walked out of the KPG extinction alive. Small body, nocturnal, omnivorous. Subscribe to Curious Science for more mechanism-first answers. Tomorrow, why helium makes your voice squeak, and how sound travels 3 times faster in it.